Today is January 23rd, 2015, and this is my solar thermal greenhouse. I'm Caleb Warnock, author of the Backyard Winter Gardening book. This cost less than $500 to build, and $300 of that, almost $300 of that, is for the twin wall polycarbonate that you see on the roof here. That's this special, difficult to find greenhouse plastic that looks like cardboard. I don't know if you can see that or not. And this is what the roof is made out of. And this is 3 sheets, and this costs almost $100 a sheet. We designed this door to open inward so that if there is a snowdrift out here, you can still get in easily. And then here is the solar thermal greenhouse with room for me. I'm 6'4", room for me to stand up. This is sitting against the house. It is not attached to the house in any way for zoning purposes. Is the window to my house, and this helps heat the house during the winter. There is a thermal chimney. This goes up and meets, and there's a little crack that runs the entire way. This is slanted to minimize the cubic inches of airspace inside, because every cubic inch has to be kept warm. And then we have had some damage in here. You can see right here that the front edge and the side edge, can you see that? The front edge and the side edge are the most vulnerable to freezing. The rest of it does not freeze. And this is my geothermal greenhouse, which is built into the ground and is heated, as are both of my greenhouses, with no artificial heat or electricity. The roof and the front, this is south facing, the roof and the front are twin wall polycarbonate. And then we have a window vent here on the side, which is open in the summer, all summer. And then we have another little vent right here, which is usually opened in February. And then I'll take you around to the back. This is the main vent right above the door. And we'll go inside. Welcome to my greenhouse, where it is about 80 degrees right now, maybe 85 degrees. So this is what we have going on in here, and I will take you through all of these. First, let me show you the vents from the inside. Here's the door we just came through. Here's the vent, which is open 24 hours a day and can be closed. And then there's the little vent, and then this is ground level right here, and there's the window that we saw outside. And then this has a stone floor, and then this section right here is 4 feet tall, and this stone floor goes 4 feet deep. And here is a geothermal, excuse my rooster, here's a geothermal vent pipe that goes down 4 feet deep. And another geothermal vent pipe right here that goes down 4 feet deep. And then we have water that we collect in these barrels from the roof of this barn. So I always have water that is not frozen through the winter. These are Blanc Hatif de Paris, the rarest onions in the United States. These are winter growing onions. And I am the only commercial grower of those onions, which were used for hundreds of years in cold frames for winter growing. And this is Chinese cabbage Michi Healy, which loves to grow in the cold in the winter. These are Cascadia Peas right here. And then this has been planted, I don't know if you can tell, but there's little baby rutabaga that I just planted a few days ago. And then there's some carrots that have been planted here. And there's some more peas. This is my perennial chard, Swiss chard, and Swiss chard back there, right there. that has been here ever since this greenhouse was built, which is probably 7 or 8 years ago. And this is Caleb's deep winter lettuce right here, with some nice peas growing in it also. And this is wintergreen jewel romaine, which I developed for winter growing. They love it here. This is a very rare lettuce called North Pole that was developed for winter growing more than 100 years ago, and I am the only commercial grower left of it in the United States. These are dragon tongue bush beans, just planted a few days ago, starting to sprout. There's some more over here starting to sprout because they will sprout in cold soil. And these are Danvers and Parisian and Scarlet Nantes carrots. And we talked about the beautiful Swiss chard, which I have. You can see this is all cut and come again, by the way. Can you see this? You just come and pull a leaf off and they keep growing from the center. And the same thing with all of these. The Chinese cabbage, you take the outside leaves and it keeps growing all winter long. You take the outside leaves, you can see that we've been in here. See all these little stems where we've been just taking the outside leaves, and then the interior leaves continue to grow, and that's how we harvest this, so that we just have a continual harvest. This is red orac, which is a cousin of spinach, which is highly nutritious and has more nutrient density than spinach. These are rutabaga. These are more of those rare onions. This is my spinach. This is America spinach right here. This is fine fennel greens and Tokyo bacana. This is mizuna, a whole nice little field of mizuna. These are radishes that I planted just a few days ago, probably been a week. Garlic. And these are Green Mountain huge multiplier onions planted from seeds, so that they can be transplanted outside when the time comes, which will be in about March. And then these are the turnips, which have begun to go to bulb. I don't know if you can see those. Can you see those 2 bulbs growing there? And those will be ready to eat in about April, April, late March, mid-March. So this is the geothermal greenhouse. This does not work if you don't build it exactly correct using thermodynamic principles. This is the pump that I stick into this barrel. You just unscrew this and you start the pump, and it goes by itself. It's a hand pump, it's non-electric. And then put that in here and water, depending on the weather, once or twice a week I water. This greenhouse cost $6,248 to build, and I did not build it. I hired it out. I had a professional do it, but I built the solar thermal greenhouse that you saw. And it's really nice to be able to garden at my height also in here, so you can just have a last look at everything we have growing in here. And you can grow all of this in the $500 version and have your water barrels and everything else too. Okay, so now we are in my backyard garden. This is the winter garden. This is my compost pit. We took about 100 bags of leaves from neighbors, so that's why you see those there. And lots of things going on here, but I want to start here. This is a cold frame that I just put up yesterday or the day before to plant some seeds. I planted some radish seeds yesterday. These are cold frames that are cloches that have been out here all winter. Some people call them cloches. This is a tatsoi. Been out here all winter, even when it was 10 degrees below zero. This is Swiss chard. And they've just been covered by these glass bowls. These are collared vates. These will stay out all winter. They grow faster with a cover over them, but these have had no cover over them all winter long. They're very nice and green. I'm in the middle of redoing my garden, so you'll have to pardon me that there's lumber and all kinds of stuff. You can see that I'm I've been moving some garden beds and widening some garden beds and doing all kinds of nonsensy stuff. This is a new variety of elephant garlic that I'm developing. This is elephant garlic, and these have just been, the bulbs have been planted here. I'm developing that from seed. This is my spinach. This is the cold frame, and they've been out here all winter. This is fine fettle greens, Caleb's fine fettle greens, available at seedrenaissance.com. You have to have the correct varieties. This is America spinach, which is available for the lowest price in the nation at seedrenaissance.com. So here's some more cold frames in a raised bed. I've been moving to some raised beds because I have an injury, and it's been more difficult for me to get down. So this is Grand Rapids lettuce, and I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can see that when it was 10 below zero we had some kill, and the reason that those were killed is because they were tall. The closer they are to the ground, the better they do on those cold nights. So the shorter plants, that was about 2 weeks ago, and the shorter plants have begun growing up now. In here we have Cascadia peas, which are eaten for the pea greens and the peas. These I don't think are in flower right now. Let's see. Well, it looks like that one's forming a flower right there, and it is January 23rd, so these look pretty good, and you just eat those greens or the peas. And then in here we have rutabaga and fine fettle greens. And this one you can see has been out all winter with no protection, and these are the ones that have been in here, and this is just a cold frame made out of twin wall polycarbonate and some scrap wood. So you can see that that does pretty well. And I think that's about it for the cold frames out here. So here's the winter garden.